Green flag goes back in the air.
The advantage goes to Harvick.
Bottom of three, still there. Clean air.
Daniel Suarez.
That's wrong, guys.
We stay under the green flag.
Kevin Harvick across the line. The checkered flag is in the air, and he becomes playoff eligible.
P2, run. Sorry. Failed, Joe. I don't care what you think. That's a hell of a weekend. Great job, man.
Hey race fans, welcome to the preview show delivered by DoorDash. I'm Kim Kuhn alongside Alan Cavana. And are you feeling lucky this weekend? You should, because the NASCAR Cup Series is headed to the Irish Hills of Michigan.
Love Michigan. There's only 4 more races before the playoffs start. That's 4 chances to lock in your spot to the playoffs. 4 more chances for, say, a Chase Elliott. We'll talk about him in the show. But plenty of other drivers trying to get the win this weekend.
Like Kevin Harvick, 4 more chances for the 4 car, and he is traditionally very strong at Michigan.
Super strong at Michigan. Wondering if this will be the spot that he gets his first victory of the year, because last time we were in Michigan, it was the 4 car in victory lane. 5 out of the last 7 races at Michigan, it's been the 4 car in victory lane. I thought he'd be the dominant Ford at Richmond. That didn't work out. He could be the dominant Ford this weekend, if not the best car at Michigan. It's just that type of Kevin Harvick track, high speeds, go into the corner further than anybody with your foot on the gas. That's where Kevin Harvick excels. Now, we know he wins on speed. Does that 4 car have the speed it had last year? I don't know if we've seen it, but maybe there's some Michigan magic.
Maybe. The stats are strong, but the Fords really have not had the speed at intermediate tracks, and the Fords really haven't had it when it comes to victory lane. Chris Buescher winning last week was only the 3rd time this year we've seen a Ford in victory lane. So we're watching Kevin Harvick. Another guy you can't ignore is Bubba Wallace, because he finished 2nd to Harvick last year at Michigan. Not only that, got his first career pole at Michigan. That team has the speed there, and they're on a little bit of a hot streak. They finished 12th or better in the last 3 races. So, Bubba, for you, what do you think?
I love what Bubba did last year, getting the pole, leading the laps. He is a better driver. They are a better team this year, so you would expect them to be up front contending for the win. I got to say, though, I'm just worried about the pit crew. We have to talk accountability here. You can't come in, leading the race, being in the top 5, and come out 15th. It seems like there's an issue every week. They got to stop that.
Yeah, but the thing that it proves to me, last week in Richmond, they had that trouble on the right front after Bubba was so strong, led laps, but you tuned into the radio and you didn't hear the angry Bubba. He didn't get on the radio and just throw his crew under the bus. He was calm, cool, collected. He's showing his evolution as a driver, and that's the type of things that get you to victory lane. So I'm looking at Bubba. I'm looking now that he is 54 points to the good on the playoff grid. That puts you a little bit more at ease, gives him a little bit more comfort, so he can just focus on the racing.
Lets you breathe a little easier, which is nice, especially in Michigan this time of year.
But you know who's not breathing easy is Chevrolet at Michigan.
Yeah, it's been 6 years since the Chevys have won. We've talked Ford won last week. The Toyota drivers, they're killing it. I'm just a little worried about Chevy. Remember a few months ago, all we would talk about is the Chevy domination, the Hendrick cars. They were winning everything, leading all the laps, Trackhouse as well. We haven't seen that as much lately, and I'm wondering where that's going. Or is it Toyota catching up? Is it Ford catching up? Or is Chevy a little bit on a downturn? I'd only be worried because you don't want to have the downward momentum right before the playoffs start. This is not the time to start trending down.
No, not at all. The Chevy teams definitely need to pick it up, but they could do it this weekend at Michigan, especially one team, Hendrick Motorsports. Those Chevrolets traditionally are very good at Michigan. Kyle Larson, a 3-time winner there, and Chase Elliott, a 3-time runner-up, which leads us to the question, to the Chase Tracker. Can he win at Michigan? Does he need to win at Michigan? Or is he in a position now to get on points into the playoffs?
Let's look at it. The Chase Tracker says he is 40 points out with 4 races to go. 40 points below the elimination line. I can do the math. That's 10 points per race. He got stage points finally in Richmond. That's a sign of life for him.
He qualified pretty well.
Qualified well. You got to do all those things. In Michigan last year, he was 11th with no stage points. So he has to improve on what they did last year if Michigan is going to be the place to get that victory, to get a really good points day. I still think he needs a win with 4 races to go.
I do too, and that doesn't bode well because I don't think he can win at Michigan despite the fact that he's only finished outside the top 10 twice there in 12 starts. I think it's a solid points day, but it needs to be a win for Chase Elliott and this 9 team. But you talk Hendrick Motorsports at Michigan, and you can't ignore the fact that historically they have been great there, especially Dale Earnhardt Jr.
A lot of memorable wins there. We'll go back for our NASCAR 75 flashback to 2008. A big day if you were a fan of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was in the midst of a 76 race winless streak. He had yet to win for Hendrick Motorsports in the 88 car. This would be the day, plenty of drama included. He started the final run of the race 2 laps short on fuel. Everyone was trying to stretch, and it would come down to a green-white checkered attempt, and yes, he had enough fuel, beat Casey Kane to the line, and up to the win to say the least. It was big for Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s career because up until that point, it'd be like, hey, when are you going to win? This is HMS. You got to do it in the 88 car. He did it that day. Would go on to have a pretty decent career.
So he broke a 76 race winless streak there. Then 4 years later, won again at Michigan to break another winless streak. So the question is this weekend, what driver in the Cup Series might break a winless streak? Don't forget to tune in to the Firekeepers Casino 400 this Sunday, August 6th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern on USA.
And make sure you join us right back here next week for the preview show delivered by DoorDash. She's Kim, I'm Alan. We'll see you then.